up? So today we're going to talk about the first time that I knew that I had some kind of mental issues. Now, I was 12 years old, and my mother had mental abuse. Like, I used to, stare at her and she'll be rocking back and forwards, talking to herself. One day she went outside and she had a winter coat on, and it was like 90 degrees, and she was sweeping outside. So she had some form of schizophrenia. When I was younger, my father passed away. He was murdered. And I was like, when I was around 7 years old. I was like 7 years old when he was murdered. And didn't really realize, about nothing about death or anything like that. So, but the night, what's so funny is that the night before he died, I was a little girl, and I had this crazy dream that mice was everywhere, and they was jumping, and they was all over the place. And then the next morning, after that dream, I got so sick. Like, I was throwing up. I had fever. And then that's when somebody told me that my father had passed. Very, very crazy, right? So, okay. So now from 7, I'll skip to 12 years old. I was in a foster home, and I was having a hard time, I guess, being there, because I always wanted a normal family when I was younger. I always wanted a mother and a dad, and this life that everybody, society tells us that we should have, happy family. So I was living like that. I was in a home, and for some reason, I don't know what it was, I got an inkling of what death really meant. It meant going away and never coming back. Things changing and forever in your life. So I went around and I started busting out windows in the home and just going crazy, So I got put into a mental hospital at 12. They had me on, I think, Stelazine at that time, I think it was. And I was so out of it, I felt so out of it. And because I just felt like, wow, could this be my life? Could this be my life is damaged, I felt, as a 12-year-old. I felt it was just how I felt. So that was my first mental breakdown, and my first no, I guess I don't even know who approved them to give me that medicine, but yeah, that was crazy. It was crazy. So mental health runs in my family, but I wish it didn't. I really wish it didn't. And it's hard to be around people sometimes in relationships and stuff, because when they know this about you, they tend to say things like, well, did you take your medicine? Or, are you okay? And that really bothers me, to the fact that now I know everybody has some form of mental illness. Everybody. Even the ones that tell you, oh, did you take your medicine? So when my mom was young, I used to, she probably wasn't taking her medication or something like that. And I used to watch her, and I used to be sad inside, So what I'm saying is, be aware of the effects of mental illness on young people, Mine is too, mine is kind of a little too extreme, because I've seen crazy stuff with my mom, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how that all came to play, because even I don't, to this day, no matter what happens in my life, went wrong in my life, I always respect my mother. I always loved her. I always will love her. And there's some I don't really like to talk about. I really don't want to talk about, but I'm not there yet. But maybe one day I'll be. But if you ever hear me talk about my mother, just know that she's my heart. No one will ever love me the way she loved me. And that's the way what I think. Now, so when a child's parent is murdered and they're young, at first they don't really realize what that loss is. And it comes a time in their life as they get older that it all of a sudden hits them. Wow, really? And then you find out a little more. You find out, well, this person was, unalived in this way. You know what I mean? That they were violated in such a way where they were hit like 12 times. You know what I mean? Like and you don't know what that is when you're little. You don't know the magnitude of things when you're young and you're told, oh, your mother or your father is no longer here. You don't know the magnitude, and then one day it just all comes. It hits you like a ball of bricks. Okay. So. If you can like right now. Thank you. So, yeah, that's one of the things that I wanted to tell you guys is that kids don't really take into that right away. They don't know the magnitude of the loss in their life. I have a lot of things that happened to me that I don't remember anymore. I don't collect with it, what it was, I don't remember, put it that way. And, I did a little blog earlier. You can go and watch it if you want, of my morning routine, and I found out certain things about decaffeinated coffee, and I also was listening to this young lady yesterday, and on YouTube. I'll put her name in the description when I look it up. But she's really good. She's really good. But I want people to know that just because it worked for you, just because you was able to turn your life around, or you have all these positive things to say as far as getting better and what you should do and how you should feel, about yourself. Sometimes it's easier said than done. You can't compare your life to the next person's life. You can't say just because I did it, you can do it too. No, because your thought patterns, your thought pattern, your motivation, because sometimes when people go through things in life, it's like a ton of bricks. It's literally on you, and you want to move, and you want to do better. You want to not seem lazy and feel and get to where other people are. But you have to realize that each person is everybody's not the same, okay? We're not the same type of people. And I don't want to come across as my channel being a negative channel. I'm telling you my story. I'm telling you how depressed I am at times. And because what happens is that when you listen to people that got it together, that can tell you to get motivated, there's nothing to it but to do it. Just get up and don't be lazy. Don't be ungrateful and stuff like that. Look, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for what I have, for what God has been through with me from when I was a young child to this very point. So God, I am very grateful, but my personality is not your personality. You know, I'm doing the work as we speak right now. I ran out of options. You know, therapy wasn't working for me, and stuff. So I'm doing this to better myself. Now, what my bettering myself looks like might not look the same for you. So I'm just like tired of people saying, well, it's easy. You just got to get up and do it and don't be lazy. Get up and exercise. And exercise, it's probably good, you know. It's probably good for you to do that. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to, you know, eating better, you know. And I really, really don't want to talk negative about everything. I don't want to do that. But I would say that your motivation is not the next person's motivation. You know, is it worth trying? Yes, you should. But, you know, what works for you might not work for somebody else. And yeah, so like I said, you know, I did a little blog earlier showing what I do on a daily basis, and how I try to like motivate myself, you know. You can watch it. It'll probably be in this playlist right here. But like I said, this is gonna be a daily thing where I get on here and I speak the way I feel, and some of the things I may say are probably not how you might feel, or, you know, things like that. But I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you listening to me as to find out where someone else that's in the same situation as myself may be going through. And yeah, thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, turn your notifications so you won't miss any of my videos. And thank you for visiting Mental Land Street. Peace.